Hi everyone, it's Adam Cockburn here at Low & Co. Thanks for checking in. Today we're doing another market review of the Wellington property market for the month of May 2019 compared to the month of May 2018. If you've been following these videos, you'll see a bit of a change in the format I'm using for this one, so hopefully it's a positive change, but do let us know either way if you like the change or if you don't. So let's get into it. In summary, the prices are remaining strong, but sales numbers are reducing and days to sell are increasing. So the market is changing a bit. It's becoming less of an aggressive seller's market, so that would be good news for those of you who are buyers out there. So if we have a look firstly at the new listings coming to the market, what you see there is the new listings over the last 5 years. The blue chart is the monthly volume of listings, and the red line smooths it out, so it takes a 6-month average. And so what this is showing is, broadly speaking, the volumes are the same. The volumes are constant, they're stable. Not much has changed in the last 5 years on average in terms of the supply side of things and new listings. So to me this is really interesting, because what it shows is that in the changing market environment we've had in the last 3 or 4 years, with prices going up a lot, it's not because there is a change in the supply side. It therefore must be just a change in the demand side. So overall, new volumes of listings coming to the market every month on average over the last 5 years is pretty stable, hovering around that 700 a month on average. If we look now at median sales price, and again this is for the Wellington region, again the blue chart shows the monthly median sales price. It's a little bit up and down all over the place. The red line shows the 6-month moving average, and it's a steady increase over the last 4 years or so. No great surprise there, I suppose. Is it flattening off? It doesn't look like for the region that it is, but interestingly in Wellington City, for the month of May 2019, median sale price $725,000 versus May 2018 when it was actually $740,000. So in Wellington City, the median sales price for the month of May is lower than it was 12 months ago. So pretty interesting. We've always felt for some time now that the city sales prices are not really going up an awful lot lately, whereas further out of town in the more regional locations or further out suburbs, perhaps the far northern suburbs of Wellington, are still increasing. How long is it taking to sell a property in Wellington? About 35 days now, and interestingly you can see from this chart that from month to month it changes quite a bit, but in 2015, 2016, the days to sell really sharply reduced, right down to sort of 26, 27 days there on average. And lately it's been more like 35. There is no question that it's slowly taking longer to sell property in the Wellington region. Just ever so gradually over the last 3 years, just taking a little bit longer, a little bit longer, a little bit longer. For a good property that's well located and well presented, still selling very easily. The ones that are suffering a bit more are the ones with issues or bad access or bad condition or poor sun, that sort of thing. So it is taking a little longer to sell properties over time. How many sales are we seeing each month? And again, an interesting pattern we can see here. When the boom really started in 2016, we saw a big increase in the number of sales taking place, reaching a peak of up around the 900 sort of mark every month. And then since then, over the last 3 years, it's ever so slightly just reducing, just slowly reducing, slowly reducing, slowly reducing. And the last 12 months or so, it's been hovering around that 650, 700 properties a month. And interestingly, that's not many more than we saw selling during the GFC. So the amount of turnover that's happening is not high, that's for sure, and has been slowly reducing. But as we saw before, it's not because there has been any change in the sales side. So on the supply side, it's not the cause, it's the demand side that is changing this, I would suggest. Inventory, the number of weeks of supply we've got on the market. The last couple of months we've seen 10 weeks worth of inventory. You can see right there at the far right hand side, the blue chart, the blue lines there. So the red line again showing a gradual increase overall in the inventory we've got on the market. Just an interesting point, the last time in Wellington we saw 10 weeks worth of inventory on the market was way back in 2015. That was before the recent boom started. So again, that indicates that things are changing. We are seeing a gradual increasing in the level of amount of inventory in the market. Again, good news for buyers. It's going in the right direction. Still a seller's market, but heading more towards favouring the sellers less. In terms of number of listings on Trade Me, no great change. Over the last 3 years or so, it's maintained a pretty low level in between 1,500 and 2,000 listings on the market, depending on which month we're talking. Pre-2016, as you can see there, it got way up to 4,000 or so. So stable listings, number of listings on the market on Trade Me. Depends on the month and the season and so on, but over the last few years, broadly stable but low. And so in summary, new listing volumes is broadly stable. Prices are still increasing in the Wellington region, but there's evidence coming through now that the city prices are not really increasing much anymore. Duration to sell, no question about it, has been slowly increasing for the last 3 years. Sales volume, again, decreasing for the last 3 years, very slowly. Inventory increasing. We are seeing inventory levels that we haven't seen for about 4 years now, but gross supply volumes, number of listings on Trade Me, is roughly stable for the last 3 years or so. Hope that's interesting. See you again next month. It's Adam at Low & Co. Cheers.